Geo Prime here with a little video, and today I just want to go over some of the San Diego Comic-Con news that has come out, and there's a lot that's coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. I've been through some of the articles that have hit since yesterday, some of the videos I've been watching this morning, and I've picked out a few bits that I myself am personally interested in. Obviously, this may not be what you're interested in, but you know, there's a lot coming out of San Diego Comic-Con in regard to practically all of the major collectors' lines. So before I do go over those stories that I've picked out for myself, I do have a Facebook page called Geo Prime where I do post images of the figures in my collection, links to anything I do video-wise, and anything else that I find of interest. So if you do have the time, do please find the page, hit like, hit subscribe, and feel free to comment on anything I do post. So, first off, we'll go over the Transformers stuff, because that's obviously what my main hobby and interest is. We do have an image here of the San Diego Comic-Con Void Rivals Jetfire, Darak and Solila. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's basically just a straight up repaint of the Siege Jetfire, which is a brilliant toy. And then with two figures, which I'm guessing is from the comic books, which I know nothing about. So this is not a set that I myself am going to be interested in. What we have had now, however, is some images of figures that are going to be coming up later in this year, beginning of next year. So we'll run through those. Hearts of Steel's 2-pack. We've seen images of these before. Not something I myself am interested in, so I won't be picking these up. We have at last had a look at the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set for Armada, Nemesis Prime, and Air Defense Minicons, who combine to form the Star Saber from the Armada cartoon. A lot of people are going crazy about this. I was watching the Transformers The Show last night, and one of the hosts, Andy, is really excited for this. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Nemesis Prime from Armada, he showed up in one episode towards the end of the Armada series, and he's basically a feral version of Optimus Prime. He even has like a damaged faceplate, as you can see from this image here, just to set him apart. He was more like an animal than a sentient individual. But he is coming with the Star Saber, which is quite nice. These are all new molds by the looks of it, as well. So who knows? Maybe Hasbro has finally heard our calls and is actually going to start producing minicons and minicon sets for us. Then there's the Hot Wheels crossover line, Twin Mill, which is the blue one, the twin-engined one, and then Bone Shaker. I do collect Hot Wheels to a certain extent. I do toy photography with the Hot Wheels cars in my collection. This isn't something I particularly am interested in, but one piece of good news is these are not 1/64th standard scale Hot Wheels cars. Apparently, they are deluxe-sized vehicles. So that's going to make them a bit more interesting, I think, for Transformers fans. But again, this is something I probably am going to pass on, as it's just not something that interests me myself. Out of the two of them, however, I do think Bone Shaker is probably the better looking, especially with the vehicle mode. I think it's a lot more interesting than Twin Mill. And then we move on to the Age of the Primes 2026 Deluxe Scale figures. So we have Sure Shot for all those people who are awaiting a complete set of Target Masters. Have to admit, I've not gotten any of the Target Masters. Even when they were part of the Titans Return line many years ago, and moving onward, I just haven't got into them. For some reason, I don't find them as appealing as the Headmasters. I may pick this guy up. I don't know. It depends. Like I say, I'm more into the Headmasters than I am the Target Masters. There's just something a bit more interesting about them, especially with how the Japanese did the Headmasters. But yeah, if you are a Target Master fan, this is definitely one for you. Then we have Deluxe Blastoff for the Combaticons. I have got Vortex on order. I don't remember who I've pre-ordered it with. But yeah, if anything is to go by with Vortex and the aerial bots and the Stunticons, Blastoff will sell out very quickly on the pre-orders. And I will probably, because I have a full-time job. I work 9 to 5. So these pre-orders tend to go up in the middle of the day or early in the afternoon when I'm at work, and obviously I can't go about doing pre-orders. So this will probably be one, as much as I would love to get it, I will probably have to wait for it to hit general release in like Smiths or something. I do kind of hope as well, since since they are doing the Combaticons, I kind of am hoping that we're going to get Ruination, a Ruination repaint for the RID side of things at some point in the near future. Fingers crossed. But again, looks really, really nice in robot mode, really, really nice in shuttle mode. But yeah, I imagine this one will sell out pretty damn quickly. And then we've got another deluxe Junkion called Jalopy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is a previous mold, I believe, just repainted in different colors. So if you like your Junkions, here's another one for you. Then something for the Beast Wars fans. This is one I will definitely be picking up myself because I do have a very nice shelf of modern Beast Wars characters from the Kingdom and Earthrise line and so forth. Quick Strike, who is one of the Fusors. So this will go well with the Silverbolt I have on my shelf. So looking forward to getting this one added to the collection as well. I do wish they would at some point announce that they're going to do Rampage and the Manta Ray one. I forget what his name is now, but I do hope we do get those two characters as leader class figures at some point, or hopefully maybe even command class figures at some point. Then another new figure for a new Prime, Deluxe Quintus Prime. I have to be honest, I've not really bothered with the primes themselves. I do have Star Convoy, and I will probably pick up Vector Prime, because obviously that Transformers Cybertron Galaxy Force connection. But the other primes I'm just not really interested in much. I mean, this guy looks like a submarine of some sort. I suppose one thing that if you are collecting the Quintesson figures from a few years ago, Quintus will go well with that, because obviously I think in the most major interpretations of the lore, Quintus is responsible for the creation of the Quintessons. I think that was a major underlying theme in Earthspark from what I've read. I could be wrong there though. So again, if you are collecting the primes, here's another one for you, Quintus Prime. He does look very different, I have to admit, from previous figures we've had. Then we go on to the Voyager scale. We've got Brawl, again, another one of the Combaticons. I do hope we do get Ruination at some point. Very nice figure, very, very accurate looking to his Generation 1 cartoon interpretation. Tank looks great. Robot mode looks great. Not really a lot more to say about this one. Again, it probably will sell out very, very quickly. I am curious though, if this is a Voyager class figure, how much bigger is the Combaticon Combiner going to be? Whose name has also left me now completely. But how much bigger is this Combiner going to be? Bruticus, that was it, Bruticus. If he's a Brawl is a Voyager, Vortex and Blastoff were the arms. Swindle and Brawl were the legs. How much bigger is he going to be? I'm curious. Then we have, for all you Transformers animated fans out there, Voyager Wreck-Gar. We knew this guy was coming from. We knew all these figures were coming from the leaked lists. I'm not getting the animated figures myself. I am just trying to stick to the G1 Beast Wars stuff these days. But I have to admit, it looks very, very nice. I'm currently working my way through Transformers animated on Amazon Prime with my daughter. She's loving the series. She's loving it. This version of Wreck-Gar obviously was very, very different from the original version of Wreck-Gar. And yeah, it's a very nice looking figure, very nice alternate mode. And if you are an animated fan, pick this one up as soon as you can, because I imagine he's going to sell out fast again. Then we have another Prime Voyager Almagus Prime. I could be mispronouncing that. This is a really unusual looking one. This does not. I mean, it looks almost like some sort of version of Shockwave, really, with that headpiece. Looking at it though, if you've ever watched Transformers 1, and if you're a Transformers fan, you should have really by now, this looks very much like the robot mode for his character in that film. I mean, he doesn't even look like a Cybertonian. He looks like maybe some sort of Earth-based mech or something like that. Very, very different. Very, very unusual. But again, I'm not collecting the Prime, so I won't be picking this guy up myself, but he does look really, really interesting. Yeah. Then we get on to the leader scale figures for the year. Razor Claw. So this is a repaint of one of the former Beast Wars characters. My memory is terrible today. This is one I have been hoping they would be making for a very, very long time. If you are not familiar with this version of Razor Claw was the lead Herald of Unicron in the Transformers Universe comic from about 20 years ago. He was an evil incarnation of his Beast Wars counterpart, and he's just a straight up grey purple repaint of the figure with a slight variation to the head sculpt, I believe. It looks fantastic. It really, really does. This is one I've been hoping that they would be bringing out, and I'm glad to see that they are. So this figure will be on my pre-order list. Then we have the Leader Class Big Convoy. Again, this is another one that is definitely on my hit list. I do have the Magmatron figure, which goes with Leo Convoy. He looks like he is a bit of a shell former, like his original toy from the Beast Wars Neo lineup. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. He'll be spending all his time in robot mode anyway, more than likely. I do have Optimus Primal and Leo Convoy on my shelf, so he will look brilliant next to them. I love the robot mode. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Animal mode, mammoth mode looks brilliant as well. I am curious, though, if they are doing this guy, they did two variations of the original toy back in the day. They did an Ultra Mammoth, which, as you can probably guess by the namesake, was a white and blue repaint, like Ultra Magnus. And they also did a Nemesis Prime as well for the Universe toy line. So I'm kind of hoping with Razor Claw being now in the line, we'll hopefully get... I'm not too bothered about the Ultra Mammoth, but I would love to see a Nemesis Prime version of this character, because that mold looked brilliant in those black and purple colours. Then we get on to the command scale. Now, they didn't have the coloured renders of Onslaught like they did the other characters, but they still gave you this grey prototype image. Onslaught, robot-wise, looks absolutely spot on. Again, I really do hope we get his Ruination incarnation as well from the Transformers 2001 RID series. Fingers crossed for that one in the future. Then we get into some Studio Series stuff. There is a lot to go through here. So, Studio Series, for all you Transformers 1 fans, we are getting Transformers Arachnid. It's such a shame we didn't get these figures when the film was coming out, but at least we're getting, for all you Transformers 1 fans, at least you're getting something here. She looks spot on for her movie incarnation, and the vehicle mode looks pretty good too. I'm not, like I said, this is not something that I'm going to be getting myself, because I'm just sticking to mostly to the Generation 1 Beast Wars era stuff these days. A new Studio Series Barricade from The Last Night. I've never watched The Last Night, so I can't say if this is very accurate or not. It's a movie character, so I'm not going to be getting this one. But for all you movie characters fans, you're getting a new Barricade. We are also getting a new 86 Windcharger. This is one I will be picking up. The Windcharger I'm currently using on my shelf is from the Titans Return line. It's an okay figure, don't get me wrong, but I'll get this one because it looks absolutely fantastic. And I imagine as well it will be a lot bigger than that Titans Return figure. So yeah, this is another one on my hit list. Then we get into our Voyager class figures. Another one for Transformers 1, Alpha Trion. Looks very, very nice. Yeah, I think it does look like a very nice figure. You get his wolf unicorn mode there. But again, this one I won't be picking up myself, but for all you Transformers 1 fans, you know, you're getting another great figure by the looks of it. Then we're getting an 86 Thundercracker. I think this is just a re-release of the previous Seeker molds from the Earthrise line, but done in more cartoon accurate scale colors. I haven't got any of the new Seekers. The reason being I have a complete set of Universe Seekers, you know, from the Classics Universe era from like 20 years ago. They took me a very long time to find and put together, so I don't really want to just be throwing them under the bus in order to get bigger molds like this. And, you know, it's like trying to complete another set of Seekers is always an absolute pain because Hasbro just don't release them consistently enough to get. And when they do come out, they end up on eBay for twice the price or God knows what else. Is still a very nice figure, though. Then we get on to our leader scale. We're getting a Last Night Optimus Prime. Again, not really interested in this figure. It does look very nice, but it just doesn't interest me in the slightest. And then we get to our Titan scale figure. Now, before we go on to this one, I imagine everyone's already seen the imagery, so they already know who it is. I was racking my brains trying to figure out who the hell they were going to do as a Titan class, because I just couldn't think of it. But this is not who I had in mind. They have gone for Age of Extinction Grimlock. This looks really, really nice, I have to admit. I do kind of like this design for the Dinobots. It's one of the few nice things I can say about Age of Extinction and The Last Night. Now, from what I understand from what I've read, they are going to try and do all the movie Dinobots in this scale to go with Grimlock. So that is going to be a really massive set of bots to have in your collection. Obviously, he's done these grey metallic colors, and the mace weapon, I'm told, or from what I've read, will have some form of string attached to it, so it can be displayed that way. And that pretty much is it for the Transformers stuff. One other thing they announced as well, which was completely out of the blue, was the Transformers Masters of the Universe crossover line. Didn't see this one coming, have to be brutally honest. Obviously with Hasbro and Mattel being competitors. But they are going to retail for $33. They'll be available from fall 2025. I've had a look on the Mattel Creations website because that's where they're going to be sold. They are Creation exclusive. So in order to buy these figures off the Creation website, you have to pay the subscription fee of $10. That does put me off a little bit, if I am honest. But it's an interesting crossover. I am very, very tempted to get these. The choice of Man-at-Arms with Bumblebee is a little strange to me. I would have thought Ironhide in the red would have been red and black would have been a better choice, personally. But, the figure looks okay. It's definitely interesting, but I think the better of the two is the Megatron crossed with Skeletor. You get the Havoc staff that becomes Megatron's cannon. He's got the whip, a laser whip, much like the laser sword that Megatron used in Transformers the movie. It's basically the He-Man characters wearing armor inspired by the Transformers. I'm surprised they didn't do He-Man as well as the first, one of the first figures in this. Now, there is a video by Pixel Dan where he is talking to the creators behind the line, and they have said there may be more in the future. I've stayed away from Origins crossover lines. I haven't done the Turtles. I haven't done the Thundercats. Do kind of regret not getting into those, but it's a question of time, space, and availability. These do look very nice. I do like the box art, where they've done it like traditional He-Man box art, but with that wire design, which you see in the original G1 Transformers cartoon. And on, obviously, Man at Arms is they've got Castle Grayskull there. And if I can find a picture, where is it? It does look very nice, don't get me wrong. It looks very, very nice. With Skeletors. It all look, yeah, it looks so... They've gone with Snake Mountain, there you go. And the same thing. It does. They do look really, really nice. They're not too badly priced. But again, I don't know if I want to pay a subscription fee just to get these two figures. I may have to wait on that because there were a couple of other reveals as well that I learnt about. And the first one was this one. It's a blurry image. I do apologize. As part of the Cartoon Origins lineup, they are doing She-Ra with Swiftwing. Now, I've been waiting for them to do a Swiftwing for a while because obviously we have had some She-Ra figures as part of the line previously, and we've not had Swiftwing. Now they're doing Swiftwing as part of the comics collection, which is the cartoon collection, which is a little bit annoying because it won't work entirely with the Origins figure I've got. I don't tend to do the cartoon collection. I'm trying to do the original Origins line. I've got about 10 figures left to get, maybe, I think, for that. But I'll get this one because it's She-Ra with Swiftwing, and she's got a much more accurate sword and so forth, and shield. And apparently the cape is going to be cloth, so she can sit on the horse properly. No idea how much this is going to be. It's going out for sale in September on the Creations website. I imagine this is probably going to be, let's say, $75, £75, something like that, which might... I don't think that's too bad, really, for a deluxe class figure like She-Ra and a very large mount for her to sit on. But we'll have to wait and see until September to see what it's going to cost. Now, the other one is a Turtles crossover. Again, didn't know they were doing this, but they are doing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla crossover. I love this. Absolutely love this. I don't tend to do the crossover lines, but this is something I'm going to do just because it is so damn weird and good. I love Godzilla films, especially the Heisei era, the Legends era, the Millennium era, the new Shin films and so forth. The Godzilla -1 is a fantastic film. These look brilliant. We've got Raphael as Rodan, Michelangelo as King Ghidorah, and Leonardo as Godzilla with a flaming sword. Don't know about Donatello, but I read a comment from someone somewhere that they think Donatello is going to be Mechagodzilla. Now, whether or not this is just going to be restricted to the 4 Turtles, or they're going to expand it into other characters from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles genre, I don't know. But if we can just, if we can just get the 4 Turtles, and if Donatello is Mechagodzilla, fantastic, that'd be brilliant. I'd be happy with that. It's a very small, very simple crossover series to get, and hopefully we'll be able to get it here in the UK, because we do tend to get left behind quite a bit here in the UK when it comes to some of this stuff. So yeah, there's quite a lot there that I'm interested in. Transformers, thankfully, not too much to pick up on. I do want to get this Godzilla crossover. I do want to get this Swiftwing. I'm on the fence about the Transformers He-Man crossover because it is a Creations only exclusive. It probably will turn up on eBay, but at twice the price. And there's quite a few figures I do want to... There's a few figures I want to get here from the main Transformers line. Thankfully not too many, but definitely want to get that Razor Claw. Definitely want to get that big convoy. The rest is... there's not... The Wind Chargers a must as well, the Combaticons. So there's not too much on there, really, that's going to break the bank at the end of the day. But hey, let me know in the comment section, is there anything from the news at San Diego Comic-Con that you are interested in? Anything that you're going to pass up on? Do let me know in the comments section. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and have a very nice day.